Hello everybody, thank you for stopping by. It's been a minute. Actually, it's been more than a minute. I wanted to bring you a video this evening as I was getting started on another traveler's notebook. I had made one for my granddaughter and I loved it so much that I'm making one for myself. The traveler's notebook is so simple and it's really fast to put together. This one I'm using for Angela Kerr. It's from Angela Kerr Designs. She put it out, I think, in 2022. And I had never seen it. And I don't know why. I don't know why, but I hadn't. And I love it. And it's very simple. All you have to do is purchase the kit, which is on sale if you want. Or you can follow along. I'm going to be doing this journal for the next couple of days until we finish. But it's very simple. If you want to purchase the digital, all you have to do is print it and cut out the pages and you have yourself a traveler's notebook, which is very pretty. And you can add whatever papers you want. I actually have added a few of her background pages and some of her gingham, some of the pink tea stain paper, and I'll go through all of that with you when we do the journal, because that's not what tonight's video is about. I just wanted to show you that because it's something that's going to be included with the journal that I did today that I am so excited about. So let me just put this away. Oh, and this kit also comes with a mini journal kit. This is it's called Floral, Folly, if you're interested. And it comes with a little mini traveler's notebook. So all you have to do is cut out the pages and put them together. And so I'll be making the mini journal as well. And I'll be also making something very special for both to go in. Different. They'll be different, but something that they'll both go into. And then you have all the ephemera, little cards, envelopes. These are just some pieces I have in there. Some sentiments and it's just darling. I just love it. So I know everybody's on Christmas, but I'm not yet. I am still working in my fall journal, and rather than doing a flip through, I decided that my friend Lydia, she works in her journals, and every once in a while she'll put up a reel as to what she's done in her journal and how she's journaling and what have you. And I have a ton of photographs of different fall years of fall pictures, and I'd like to add those to my journals. And I've been writing in the notebook things that I want to write in my journal. So rather than do a flip through, I thought what I would do is work on it with you on camera and show you different things that I'm going to be creating for it, and different things that I've written and pictures I've included and things like that. Okay? I don't do real well with flip throughs. So, by the way, this fabric, if you're interested, you can get this on Etsy at Amare Fabrique. I'll leave that information below. She also sent me, she is a dear, she sent me this fabric and this and that and this piece as well. So I'll be adding those to the journal as well. So thank you very much. She is such a dear, and she is, I mean, she's just amazing. So anyway, if you're interested in that, I do have a Happy Mail if I'm praying that I can get through this fast enough so that I can show you my Happy Mail. But what I have made today, you can make so quickly. It's just so easy, so simple, and it's so pretty, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So let's begin. I hope you've all had a great day. My desk is a little bit messy. I'm so sorry. But I have some things out that I need to. I'm going to put this aside on my table over here so that we have some space here. I have a small desk. So anyway, let me show you what I've made, and then we'll make it. Okay? Where are we? Have I talked too much already? So anyway, this is a little envelope that I created, little pocket. And inside I have a little piece of tea stain paper. It says "Let Your Light Shine," and it's just some tea stain paper for, you know, notes. And then I just attached this little, it's not real, obviously, it's just a piece of broken jewelry. And then I've been dyeing my own ribbon, so I'm really excited about it. So it's the I can't even think, it doesn't matter, because that's not what we're doing. That's just how I decorated that little pocket for this little piece of ephemera. And then in here is a faux envelope that I made, and I put a little piece of that ribbon there. What is it called? Y'all know what it's called. You can crunch it up or leave it flat. And I just love it. I've been doing a lot of dyeing and doing it all different colors and, you know, on one strip, and it's just been really fun. So this is a little faux envelope, and you open it up, and it's got these little tickets in a pocket back here, and this is from a napkin, and that's how it all started. I was going to decoupage with a napkin, and I thought of something, so, and that's what we're going to make. So I just put some words in here that go with that little kit, some sentiments, and a little piece of ephemera. And you just open it up, and it's an envelope. And I have a photograph of my sister-in-law and in 1946, and my husband's other sister, Mary. This is Caroline, and she's passed away, but Mary is still alive and lives in Connecticut. And this picture was taken in 1941. So anyway, I'll be adding a lot of photographs. This was actually taken in the fall as well. So I'll be adding photographs and things like that to different journals now, because I've been taking apart my my father-in-law's photograph albums, because I've noticed in the back pages of the photograph albums, they're starting, in some areas there was some mildew, and that's because years ago I used to keep them in a garage, and we live in Florida, so I'm thinking it must have gotten some moisture at one time. So I'm pulling them all apart, which is good, because the photographs, I mean, they go all the way back to John's great-grandmother, who would be, gosh, his mom would be 107, so his great-grandma would be like, I don't know, 150 maybe. So anyway, there's that one. And then in this one, I put a little snippet here, and I just did a little French knot with some silver thread. Thank you, Heather from Ruby and Pearl. I love my silver embroidery floss. I've been using it a ton. I just think it's so pretty. So, but doesn't that look like a teeny tiny little diamond? But it's not. It's just a little French knot. I just put a little snippet here. And this just slides right off. It slides on and off, no problem. And then in here, as you can see the flowers and everything right through on the other side. And I'll explain all of this as we make it, because this is what we're going to be making. So I made this envelope. I punched it with one of my Martha Stewart punches on the top and along the bottom, just to give it, you know, some pretty, because I thought it looked pretty. And and then I made a tag here and backed it on some of Angela's polka dot paper, and it says Bloom and Grow, and this is the paper. I just glued it right on top of this, no problem, and added a little bit of lace and did another French knot in the middle of that. And then I had some left over, so I put some double-sided tape, because I thought I could use it in the journal as, you know, tape for, you know, different decorations and things like that, because I had it left over. I didn't want to waste it. And then here, I made a little journaling card, but then I thought, well, I'll put a little piece of that paper on it that I made and make a little, excuse me, pocket for some more of the ephemera. I backed those with some of, excuse me, I haven't been feeling well, but I'm getting over it. And you can't catch it because I'm on the other side of the camera. But anyway, these are some of the ephemeras that come with that kit that I just showed you. And I'll leave the information for that kit below. It's darling. I love it. And I know I'm supposed to be in Christmas, I think, but it just, you know, I keep getting, I'm scrolling everywhere. But I'm so glad that I did today. So those just tuck right inside that little pocket. But look at all that I got. This ephemera is just beautiful, and it's so fun and so easy to make. So I did do a double strand on this piece of silver embroidery floss. I knew I had some, and Heather at Ruby and Pearl has been using hers, and I thought, I have got to get mine out. I actually made something the other day using it, and it came out really nice, so I'm going to be using it a lot, I think. I'll probably have to order some more. I don't even remember where I got it, but I'll have to order some more. So yeah, so then we have, I already showed you that faux envelope. Well, it's really not a faux envelope. It is an envelope, but I just put this paper on the tea stain paper, you know, and did the envelope with the picture inside. And then this is just decoupaged on with, I think I already told you that. I get sidetracked. So how did I make this paper? Let me show you how. Very simple. All you're going to need for tonight's project is a napkin. This, I'm going to show you what reason why I have that out. So you have a napkin, okay? We're not going to use this side of the napkin. We're going to use this side of the napkin. And I know that you've all probably seen somebody make faux rice paper at one time. Basically, that's what we're going to be making, but with a little added touch. So what you're going to need is, I just use PVA glue and water. And what I do, I just want to shake this up because I haven't shaken it up all day. But all I do is I cover the bottom of the jar and bring it up just to the very lip, okay, with the glue. And then, so that's 1 times glue. And then I fill it with water so that it's 2 times the glue, okay? So if you wanted to measure it, say, I mean, I wouldn't want to put 1/4 cup in here because I wouldn't use it all for a while, you know, for a long time. I don't know if it would go bad or not, but so say you were using 2 tablespoons of glue, you'd use 4 tablespoons of water. What you want it to be like is the consistency of, I might have shut that too tight. It's not glued, it's just closed tight. There we go. You wanted the consistency almost of, let me get something. Almost like non-fat milk, okay? So it's not real drippy, but it's drippy. And I always stir it too, just to make sure there's no glue on the bottom if it's been sitting for a while, because, you know, I do leave it on my shelf for quite a while. So I'll just stir it up and I'll shake it up again, and then we'll be ready to go. So you'll need some PVA glue or some Elmer's glue with water. I don't know if Mod Podge would work. I don't use it because I'm in Florida, and it'll stay sticky for the rest of my life. It will never dry. I have things I've made with Mod Podge that are still sticky that I made 4 years ago. You'll need a brush. This is a paintbrush. It's just a small paintbrush. I use it a lot in my craft room because it's better than using, say, you know, a small paintbrush. You're here all day, and I'm just impatient. So I just use this, but any kind of paintbrush, any kind of soft paintbrush will do. Okay? So you need a napkin, you need the water and the glue, and you need a brush. You also need, this is packaging from, like, I don't know what I got in it. I may have gotten, I really don't remember what I got in this because I've had it forever. I keep these for things like this. whenever I do like the faux rice paper or anything like that, it peels off this so easily and so well, and you'll see that in the video, okay? So you'll need a piece of packaging. It's almost like, you know, I use it for like little windows instead of acetate, you know, things like that. That's what that is, okay? So you'll need that. You'll need a piece of parchment paper, and you'll need a napkin, okay? So that's all you'll need. So now, all I'm going to do, oh, I'm sorry, no. You'll need some flowers. Now, what I do is I make a lot of my own potpourri. Now, what's potpourri? For those of you that don't know, it's just a bunch of crushed flowers. Anytime I get a flower arrangement, or my neighbor who across the street, all of her relatives live out of the state. She loves getting flowers. Her husband buys her flowers for birthdays, anniversaries, you name it. It doesn't matter. Any day ending in Y, he buys her flower arrangements. She loves them. I bring her over different things, and she just gets so chuffed about it. I've actually made her several silk flower arrangements for her home. That she commissioned me to do, which was ridiculous. But anyway, I was happy to do it for her. And so now what she used to do is when they died, she threw them away. Well, I was like, oh, no, 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 no. So I took them, and I've pressed so many. And I also make my own potpourri because I make my own little sachets. And what I'll do, this doesn't have anything in it, but I'll add dried oranges, cinnamon sticks, dried lemon. You can add essential oil. I have lavender essential oil, and I have rose essential oil. And you only need a teeny, 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 tiny drop inside a jar like this, and shake it really, really, really well. And that's it. Don't add any more. And then you can fill your little sachets that you make. And you can make those sachets out of paper. You can make them out of napkin. I make them out of fabric. But anyway, that's what you do. And all you do to make that is, what I do, this was one of my last hydrangeas, and I didn't get to it soon enough to make, you know, to press them, which was fine because I have so many hydrangeas. And this one had already turned lots of green. I didn't see it. It was kind of tucked underneath. So all you do is you take your bouquet of flowers, you tie them in twine, and you hang them up upside down in a dark spot, either in your craft closet. I do mine in my pantry, and I hang it with a clothespin in my pantry with the twine, and I leave it there for a week. They dry. I put them into a plastic bag, and then I fill large, very large, I think they're quart size. They might even be half. Yeah, they're quart size of these for my potpourri. Okay, so that's what I do. And to make it, it's so simple. For example, this was once a carnation. So all I do is I take it and I just kind of pull it apart. It's very therapeutic. I pull it apart and I just do this. See? This was a carnation, but once, you know, once it's in here, you'd never know what it was, you know? It's just beautiful. Weeds are great. I always go out in the morning. These have closed up now, so I'll go out in the morning and get some more. But these will end up drying and getting put into my potpourri. But even weeds in your backyard, and you can use those in your project right away. So if you got some weeds in your backyard, you could use it in this project with no problem right away. You wouldn't have to wait for them to dry. If you don't have this, you know, any access to dried flowers that are dry, you could purchase them. Years ago, I purchased a whole bunch of dried flowers to make flower arrangements at a local craft store, like Michael's, I think sells a lot of them. And so you just kind of pull it apart like this, and anything that's green, I put inside my green jar. Now this has some herbs in it. I think it has a little bit of my I think basil. I think it has some basil in it. It might have some thyme in it. Smells good. But anyway, anything that's green I put in here, and then every other color I put in, oops, there's another one in here, okay? So that's what I do. And then these stay on my desk, and my large jars stay in my pantry, and they'll last forever. Just don't put anything in them until you're going to use them as a sachet. Just leave them like this. They don't smell bad. There's no smell. Like, there's literally no smell. They don't smell at all. So, I keep them in the little mason jars because they're inexpensive, and I keep lots of things in little mason jars. My little, I keep buttons in mason jars. You know, I have tons of buttons, but I don't want to keep them all on my desk, so I keep them in little mason jars on my Lazy Susan that I have here on my desk. So, okay, how are we going to make this? Let's get busy. I pulled this out just to show you that, and I'll probably end up making potpourri out of this because I really don't need any more flat, you know, dried hydrangeas. So I just pulled that out to show you. Here's another example. This is something I bought years ago, like I said, at a craft store. And you can just pick these off and use those, you know. So I'll put that back in the envelope because I might use them for something else someday. I don't know. Probably for a fall project or something. And this is another piece that came off that, you know, those flower arrangements. And my birthday was in October. My son sent me a bouquet. So that's all dry and all ready to be pulled apart like that. And you have a bunch of little purple flowers. And I have, of course, lavender pieces that, you know, fall off the branches or what have you. And, you know, that I don't press, I put inside my potpourri jars. Now the lavender jars, those I keep separate because they smell like lavender and you don't have to add anything to those. They just smell like lavender. So, all right. So you need some flowers, dried, and you need a napkin. So let me just pull this apart, which I'm sure you've all seen 1,000 times. And I'm going to try and make this quick so you're not here all night. I've missed you all. I hope you've all been doing well. I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to pull it all off in one piece. I think this has probably 2 or 3 ply, but it doesn't matter. You only need 1. Now, I did this first with tissue paper, and I like the way it came out, but when I did it with napkin, I was like, oh my goodness. And you'll see the difference in a moment. The first envelope I made, oh, it does have 3 plies. So let me get this one detached. Sometimes it kind of sticks to that, you know, at the edge where it's kind of pressed together, it's a little bit tighter. So I go a little bit careful when I go along that edge. So I'm just going to pull this off. Wow, this one's on tight. The bottom one isn't. I think the bottom one would come right off. I've not had one that tight before, but it's okay. So that's all you need. And you're going to need 2 of them. But I'm going to cut this down because I don't need the whole piece. Let me just get this piece of tape off. I'll just, oh, dear, I'm making a mess of this napkin. Of course, I'm on camera. So, what am I going to do next? I have my parchment paper and I have my plastic. Parchment paper is to keep the glue off my desk. Now, I need this to be smaller than this piece because I want the glue to come over, come off the napkin and onto this piece. I'm just going to flip it over because that looks a little sticky. So I want the glue, and I've used this several times today, but the edges, I think, still had tape on it from, the person or wherever I got it. And this is just one part of it. I sliced it down both sides and the bottom and took it apart. So, and I have a ton of those. I keep them in a file folder because I use it for, acetate for windows and things like that. So I'm just going to cut this in half so it will fit that piece. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just, cut it so it fits the piece. Because we're making homemade paper. Only it's going to be pretty thin. But, well, you'll see. You'll see when I'm done. So what you're going to do is, that's great size. Because as you can see, it's coming so that it's got plenty of room. Probably put it on here, maybe you can see it better. It's got plenty of room all the way around, so I'm going to make sure that the glue gets on there. So I'm going to take my glue, shake it up. I'm sorry if I didn't ask you how you all were doing. Oh dear, I took that off a little bit too loose. Hold on one second, let me grab a napkin. Oops. I just got a little bit on the desk. Let me just get it off. I forgot that was loose. Okay. I don't even know why I shook it. I had already shaken it and stirred it. Forgot. Sorry about that. Of course I'm on camera. All right. So I'm just going to open this up, put it over here. I always wipe the top of my glue jar just so it doesn't get stuck closed. It never has, but it's always good to keep it wiped before you put your cover back on. So now all I'm going to do is stay in frame, and I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to dip it in. I'm just going to get the glue off. So I'm kind of just tapping it against here to get a lot of the glue off. I'm going to go from the center and I'm going to go out this way. But I'm doing it very lightly because I don't want to tear my napkin. And I don't mind if it gets wrinkled because it gives it a really nice effect. And you want to go right onto that plastic, that packaging. Go ahead and go right to the packaging. And I put down the parchment paper just so I wouldn't get my desk messy. And you don't want too much glue, but enough. You want to cover your napkin. And like I said, I'm not worried at all about the wrinkles in it because it gives it so much more texture. And like I said, the first time I used the tracing paper, and I used a sheet like this, put the flowers on, put a top sheet on, and then I was like, I don't know if that's going to work. I better put another sheet of tissue paper on it. And that's what I made that envelope with all the things in it with. And it came out beautiful. I love it. But when I tried the napkin, I thought, oh, wow. What a difference. It really is a big difference. So, and that's what you do the rice paper with, is with the napkin. So, and I like doing rice paper. I think it looks nice in a journal. You can make so many things with it, but this is just gives it that added. Now I just really wrinkled that up, but that's all right. I'll just tap it down. up. And it will stretch because it's a napkin. Now I'm just going to kind of make sure I have it all glued down there well by pushing on it. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not concerned about any of those lines. I think it gives it just the right amount of texture that you need, if, you know, to make it look like handmade paper. Only it's thinner. But it's not too thin to work with because, oh my goodness, it was so easy to work with. I made those things in like 10 minutes. I really think I'm putting too much glue on this, but that's all right. All right, so now the next thing you want to do, now that you've got it all covered, and it looks like it is, excuse me. It's still hard for me to see. I've lost, for those of you that don't follow me, I had surgery to remove a tumor in my eye, and I've lost 40% of my vision, so I wear glasses and it's helping, but my brain's got to get used to the lenses that they put in my eyes. My brain has to get used to one being 20/20 vision and the other not, so. But I'm not blind, so that's a good thing. It's great. I'm crafting again, so that's good. It's not the way I had hoped it turned out, but it was, so. I just appreciate y'all so much. I'm starting to get back to comments and videoing, and it's really been a joy. We've got a lot going on, but we're getting there. We started painting, and then we started to put in a garden because the weather got nice, and then you know how it goes. You just take on a lot in the fall. My hands are still dirty from being outside this morning and this afternoon, but everything's looking so nice. So now I'm just going to take some flowers, and I'm just going to kind of place them wherever I think I want to. Like so. Am I still in camera? I still am in camera. Now, I was thinking you might be able to do this with, like, maybe a thin watercolor paper. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to, and see how that comes out. See if it sticks. I think it would. I don't see why it wouldn't. There's just so much you can do with flowers. And I love flowers. They make me so happy. I'm trying not to get all the same color, so let me just kind of dig in here and try and get some yellow. These are from, like, yellow roses, I'm pretty sure. And then carnations, and then I don't know what you call those purple flowers at all. They're just pretty. They're not my lavender. I keep that separate. I don't really use anything like that. My lavender, I press pretty much always. And then I keep it in a separate jar for the little things that I'm making for if I ever open my Etsy shop. One day. I'm not rushing it. As long as I'm being an inspiration and, you know, coming up with new ideas. It's been a while since I've come up with any new ideas, so I was very happy with this one. And it all started with cutting out a napkin to decoupage something, and I'll show you that napkin for the project I'm working on currently, and something I'm working on in my fall journal as well. So, you know, I forget about the napkins, and then the season goes by and I've still got all these fall napkins. So I'm trying really hard to put things away, but I keep coming up with these real pretty spring ideas, and you know, it really doesn't matter. I mean, Christmas you can give things for Christmas, gifts for Christmas that don't necessarily have a Christmas theme, you know. So I'll also be making some Christmas things that I've already got in mind, so stay tuned for those. They're so pretty. Oh, I forgot the green. Let me get some green. Now, if you have in your yard, which I have tons of, clover or things like that, I have a lot of bunnies and deer and things like that. So this morning, this is still wet. It hasn't been pressed or anything. I think that's too big because I did add a lot, but I'll just stick that there. I did this morning. I put, you know, some fresh green leaves on just to see how they would work out. And some of these little flowers here, these are still in water, so I'm going to add a few of those because I did this morning and it came out really pretty. So I can pick these again tomorrow because, like I said, they're just weeds. So those are still, those aren't dry or anything. I'm pulling those off and they're not dry. We don't fertilize because, like I said, we have a lot of animals and birds. We live on a lake and we are in Florida. That's a piece of a hydrangea, but that's pretty. I think maybe I'll pull a couple of those off and put those in too. Why not, right? Give a little bit of more color, more texture, and then I'll add a little bit more green. So let's see what we have in here. Just, you know, because we need green, of course. I'm just not really being very fussy about it. Here's some green leaves from something. I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle that. Okay, and anytime I make my handmade paper, I sprinkle my dried flowers just like this in the mixture when I make my handmade paper. And I do have a couple of pieces left, but not right here. Sorry. I think it needs a little bit more yellow. Sorry about being so fussy. I usually will dump this out onto something so that I got, you know, so that I have enough of a color. So I think that's good. So now you've got all your dried flowers down onto your napkin that has been covered with glue. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments and I will get back to you. I'll answer comments as soon as possible. I know that I have some on there. I got notified by YouTube. I just haven't gotten around to answering any of them yet, but thank you from the bottom of my heart for those of you who have returned and those of you that are new. I so appreciate you all. I'm very excited to be back. I really am. And here we have a couple of little green stems. And that looks good. I think I overdid it, but that's all right. You can't overdo really this. So then what I did was I took the other part of that napkin that I cut and I'm going to place it right down on top. And don't worry if you don't get the whole thing covered. It doesn't matter. Unless you're going to use it for a journaling page, which you certainly could, then, you know, of course, you'd be more precise in your piece. You know what I'm saying? You'd be more, like if you wanted an 8.5 by 11 or what have you, you'd be a lot more precise. But I don't intend this to be a journaling page, I don't think. So I'm just pressing this down a little bit, and be careful when you do because you'll pull up your napkin. So just tap it, okay, where your flowers kind of are. Tap around them a little bit and get that kind of adhered. around your edges. Don't worry about the flowers that are sticking out. They'll either stick or you can just brush them away or what have you. Oh, but this is so pretty. And like I said, you know, the grocery stores, they have, you know, very inexpensive flower arrangements with lots of filler in it. They call it, you know, filler, which is what those purple flowers are. And like I said, you know, put them in a vase, enjoy them for a couple of days. I mean, I've seen them as low as $2, $3 for a very pretty bouquet of carnations and filler, you know, greenery and stuff. So put them in a vase, enjoy them for a few days, and then just when they start to go by and you're all done enjoying them on your, you know, wherever you keep your flowers when you get flowers, then just tie them, take the whole bunch, tie it, and, you know, make sure that whole stem is all dry before you hang it upside down. Tie it up and then hang it upside down for about a week. No long, you don't need it longer than that. You'll be able to tell. Everything will be nice and dry. And then you can do what you want with it. You know, make potpourri or make this, which is awesome. So then we're going to take our brush and we're going to put it back in our glue. I'm going to tap a lot, you know, a lot of it off. Like this. And then I'm not going to brush it. I'm kind of tapping it all around those flowers, all the way across. If you can notice, I'm not brushing it because that napkin's pretty fragile and it's wet. It's got glue on it. So I'm kind of just like dabbing it down, really. And I will brush it in a second, but I'm just trying to get all in between those flowers. And you know how sometimes when you do napkin decoupage or whatever, you'll get little bubbles? If you do this, the bristles of the brush will kind of make little holes. You know, not really holes, but it will press that down. And I'm just going over it, making sure I get everything covered with glue. Even that plastic. That's why I put the plastic down. You really do need to put that plastic down. Otherwise it won't peel off. And just, you know, make sure you've got your glue right onto the plastic. You know, that plastic. I have tried many, many, many things when I've done rice paper, and I find this to be the easiest to peel. People use all kinds of things. Plastic garbage bags. Don't worry if you get little holes. It doesn't matter. It will glue shut. Some of it, you know, I got a few holes in mine when I was, you know, gluing. So that's all you want to do. Make sure it gets all glued down. I'm just gluing this down and kind of mashing those flowers. Those, I think I got those a little bit too close. I think I put a lot more on this than I should have, but that's okay. It gives it nice texture, and it's more like, you know, it's going to end up being more like the handmade paper, only you don't have to pull out your paper and soak it and strain it and mash it, and it takes a while for me to make my handmade paper. It will take me, it usually takes me about 2 days to make enough for it, you know, for the batch. And I know Heather at Ruby and Pearl, no, Rose Hill Paper Cottage, I don't know how she does it because, I mean, she makes a lot. She makes all different colors, and I have some, fortunately, but I hoard it. I don't use it in everything. Hers comes out much better than mine. Mine comes out too thin. I don't know why. I'm just gonna put a little bit more. I don't think I have to, but, and see some of that tore a little bit, but I'm not worried about it because it's all gonna glue together. I promise. I'll show you. So now what I did was I put mine outside, and it dried in about 5 minutes. I'm not kidding. It dried in about 5 minutes. I went out just to check on it and it was dry and I thought, oh dear. So I came back in and I made more. I peeled it and don't throw these away because I just put it back down, put another napkin on it, made another one. Did it again. And I made, I don't know, 3 sheets, I think. Yeah, I made 3 sheets. And then I had to stop because I had things I had to get done. Okay, so that's all you do. I was being very fussy with that. You don't have to. I went way overboard. So now what you want to do is just lift this up like this and either put it outside to dry or lay it on your craft room floor or on, you know, your table in your kitchen overnight. You know, if you don't have the access to outside, if it's too cold or what have you. I would leave it overnight to dry. Don't be too hasty. Let it dry completely. And if you want, you know, if you don't want your lines in there or you want it a little bit less, you know, those lines not to be in there, I do. But you could go around and press to make those lines flatter if you wanted to. I don't, because I want it to look like handmade paper. Okay, so then you just pick it up. You can pick it up with your parchment paper, or you can just pick it up like this and lay it on a table. Okay, I'm gonna pick it up with my parchment paper and lay it right on my table that I have over here in my craft room. And now I'm gonna show you how simple. Here's a piece that I did already, and I had it out in the sun, like I said, probably about 10 minutes. And if you're going to put it outside, just make sure you put something on top of it. I put a couple little, I have these little snails, little decorative snails. They're pretty heavy, and I put it on the corners just so it wouldn't blow away. And I just let it dry in the sun for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So then all you do is take it and it peels right off. And then you have this. Now I washed mine. I don't think you have to, but I did. I mean, I just took a damp cloth and I washed the glue off before I put my next piece down. I made sure it was dry and I put my next piece down. So this is what it looks like when you use the napkin, okay? And it's just fabulous. It's fabulous paper. It's just fabulous. Now this is a little bit shiny, but it's not at all sticky. See? It's not at all sticky. Let me get a paper towel just to show you. Like I said, it's a little bit shiny, but I don't mind that. You could use either side. But see, I'm wiping that with a paper towel. It's not sticky at all. It's so pretty. I love it. It's so translucent. This is the other side, which is matte. Very matte. Completely matte. And like I said, you can see right through it. If you can see my hand underneath it. It's just gorgeous. It's so pretty. I just love it. And that's how I made those others. Now this is the one, I already peeled it off. This is the one I did with tissue paper, and as you can see, it's not as translucent as this. Okay, that's one side with the tissue paper, and that's the other. Now the other thing, the one thing with the tissue paper is you don't get any shiny. I don't know why, but the tissue paper doesn't get shiny. It's just stays like tissue paper. So you can use tissue paper, you know, but in my opinion, this looks a lot better. You know, it looks like that. It looks like really beautiful homemade paper. And it's not going anywhere. The flowers aren't going anywhere. They're all glued in between the two pieces of white part of the napkin. So if you don't save the white part of your napkin, start saving it. And you have some beautiful paper to work with to make some really, really pretty things. What did I do with them? Did I put them? Look, I even made with an extra piece. I had an extra piece, so I made, it's in here somewhere. I already cut out all my ephemera for my project I'll be working on tomorrow's video. Look, it made a little stamp. Isn't that cute? It's so cute. I had some extra, I still have some extra pieces too. What did I do with the ones I already made? Did I put them in with my ephemera? No. Okay, so they're lost. I haven't moved and everything's lost. Not really. So, this, again, is made with the tissue paper, the flowers, the tissue paper, and then again the tissue paper, because I was scared that it was, you know, that it wasn't going to be firm enough. But it certainly was. I mean, you definitely don't need 3 pieces of tissue paper. And then this is made with just the napkin. Oops. This one. And then this one. And I could have gone on and on and on making things, because I just absolutely love it. I just think it's fabulous. And I wanted to show you some different things that you could do with it. You could cover paper. I just used a little bit of Fabri-Tac around the edges, but I think you could probably use, you know, art glitter glue. I don't know about glue stick, but I don't see why not. This is the matte side, not the shiny side. You know that. I did use, oops, that's the wet one. And I'm just going to keep these in one of those plastic envelopes like I keep things in. You know, I keep everything in. This is my ephemera and things that I'm still working on my fall journal, but these are fabulous. You can get them on Amazon. You can get like 50 for very inexpensive, and I use them for everything. My paper that I keep for my printer, I keep in file folders in those next to my printer, and everything else in backstock, and it looks so nice and neat. I keep fabrics in those. I keep digitals. I keep things that I'm making kits, you know, putting kits together. Those work really well. So that's what I'll do with these, is I will, you know, put them, because I'll be making more, a lot more, because I think they're great. And then you can just, you know, cut off that napkin edge that doesn't have any glue on it, because I don't know why. It just obviously didn't get that far, because I didn't cut it that far. But, you know, you could just cut it up, and it's very strong, as you can hear. Hear it? It's very strong. I mean, like I said, I even took my punch and, you know, made this little edge right here with no problem. It just went right through. Same thing with this. I took my little paper punch and it no problem. Crazy, right? It's so pretty and so translucent. I love it. So it is different than, you know, say the handmade paper, which I do have some Heathers up here. You know, the handmade paper is a lot thicker. Let me just get some Heathers. Sorry, I don't have some of Heather's right here. That's a Happy Meal. I do have Happy Meals to share, but we're way over time, so I will share those tomorrow in tomorrow's video. Okay? So I hope that you like this idea. I love it. I hope that you like the things that I made with it so far. I just think they're adorable. I did get a lot of things out of them. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of in awe. My husband came home. He's like, wow, that's really pretty. So, and like I said, you know, I know everybody's on Christmas, but you don't have to make, you know, Christmas themed items for people for Christmas. You could make anything, you know. So this will be mine. I'll be doing, you know, this journal, and of course I'm going to be keeping it because I'm going to love it, and I'm going to keep gardening notes and things like that in it. So I went a little bit crazy on making things, but like I said, I wanted to show you a few things that you could make with it for your journals. You know, envelopes, little pockets, envelopes, and I already showed you everything that was in there. So that's it for tonight's video. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for staying until the end. I really appreciate it. I hope that you did, so that you could see a reveal of the paper. Let me get the tissue paper one so you can see the difference in the tissue paper. Here's the tissue paper, which is still beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I think it's really, really nice. It's really, really nice. I love it. But there's a big difference in the, as you can see in this, or even in this, like I said, this is with the tissue paper. You can see the difference, even though it's beautiful and you can still see through it, and you can still, you know, you can still see the pink things that are in there. And you can decorate them or not decorate them any way you want. You could do whatever you wanted with it, really. I mean, it's paper. And we all love paper. And it's so inexpensive. I mean, it's just gluing the backs of napkins, right? It's just, I don't know. I think it's just the greatest thing since sliced bread. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm so excited. I'm so happy to see you all. I hope that you have a wonderful evening, and I wish you well. Be kind, and be safe, and God bless. Love y'all. Bye-bye.